Joining me now, Yeonmi Park, North Korean defector, human rights activist, and author of In Order to Live, a great new book that you should all go out and buy. Yeonmi, thank you very much for coming in. It's an honor to talk to you. Now, you have actual, real experience, living experience with slavery, so nobody's in a better position to judge that last remark from an American congresswoman than you. Weren't you actually sold into slavery at one point?
Yes, when I escaped North Korea at 13 years old, in 2007, I crossed the frozen river into China, and Chinese people sold me as a sexual slave for less than $300. And they sold my own mother for less than $100.
Unbelievable.
Eventually, I had to cross the frozen desert, Gobi Desert, into Mongolia. And that's how I became free.
So what do you make of a U.S. congresswoman who has risen to the level of U.S. congresswoman, getting paid $200,000 or so a year, suggesting that the United States is depriving people of their freedom? What do you make of that?
That's a completely lie. Think about who are the most famous Americans. When I was in South Korea, the books that I read about Americans were actually Oprah Winfrey and Michelle Obama. And if this country actually oppresses people and enslaves the people, how those two women are the billionaires and the most famous women in human history? And so that is just...
Yeah, I just thinking, you think of all the hundreds of thousands of people who literally are giving up their entire life in order to come to this country. Many Africans, by the way, whose skin color is just as the same as any African American, but they give it up to come here. Would they be coming willingly to a slave state?
That is the biggest irony that I saw in America. This is the only country that I saw people complain so much about it and refuse to leave. Right? In North Korea, it was actually an oppressive regime, and that's why I escaped into my life. I did everything I can to be free and escaped. These people who complain how oppressive and systemically corrupt this country is, they are not leaving this country, they are staying here. And that is the thing, like, if you truly believe that, why didn't go to North Korea? They don't leave, they stay, and I hope that there's a one day we can switch these people, and the people, we can accept those people who can actually appreciate what this country stands for.
Now, do you worry that you know very well about the woke generation? You had experienced it in college here in the United States. Do you worry that the so-called woke censorship that we're experiencing now is going in the direction of the country that you came from?
Yes. It is very alarming. Even right now, right at this point, whatever I write on Twitter, it's all get shadow banned. Twitter says it's a sensitive content. The mainstream media and the social media, their censorship is unthinkable. First thing I learned in North Korea as a young girl was my mom teaching me that don't even whisper. The birds and mice could hear me. Now in America, millions of Americans are worrying about saying the wrong thing, so they are afraid to be censored. And this is where we are going into. What North Korea, there's no execution, but we are definitely in that direction. And if we don't stop, we are gonna end up like North Koreans.
I'm just curious, we have to run. I'm getting the wrap from my producer, but do you think we will snap out of that woke mentality?
Unless we resist, I think there's so much pushback in the mainstream media, and our education system is brainwashing our children to make them think that this country is racist and make them believe that they are victims. It's time for us to fight back, otherwise it might be too late for us to bring the glory of this country back.
Well, I think there is a lot of pushback now. I tend to be optimistic that there is enough pushback so that we can avoid a terrible fate. But again, we all have to be vigilant. Yeonmi Park, please come back and see us again, all right?
Thank you, David.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We'll be right back. Stay with us.